It's investment. The first thing is to nurture 8 crore children with 1 crore pregnant women and along with 20 lakhs of adults at the most inspirational states of. What is your take on this?
It's quite shocking to know that even after 75 years of, because our economy hasn't been performing so good, so that everyone is actually have enough nutrition.
Yeah, the second thing is adult tinkering, kind of laboratory, you can say. It's kind of a room in which has been planned to install in especially the school students who are having some kind of who want to conduct any kind of experiments, who want to work on some projects apart from their own academics. They can utilize, and also increases the entrepreneurial spirit among students.
It's actually what is your take on this? Because I don't think so people are really interested, or actually it's because of their economic condition. Given that everyone has money to afford private schools, I think so everyone in India will be going to private. So this is actually a waste of funds for. What do you think, Karthikeyan?
Not exactly. What I suggest is private schools can take this as an inspiration from the government side, so that they can also incorporate their own adult tinkering labs. The traditional way of education can be changed
if private schools take this as an inspiration. Let's see.
And the next thing would be the expanding the capacity in IITs. Here, if you see, basically what this particular thing is telling us, the IITs which have been established after 2014 will be focused more on improving their infrastructure, so that including the Indian government has also announced they have allotted 500 crores to set up Center of Excellence in Artificial. If this word education is going to be, it won't be for research, but to enrich the knowledge of artificial intelligence among the citizens of India. Then it might be there for research purpose and also for education. The Indian government has planned to increase the number of medical seats up to 75,000 within the next 5. The next thing would be setting up greenfield airports in Bihar. Basically, what greenfield airport meaning? Setting up a completely new airport from scratch. That's what greenfield airport means. And brownfield meaning expanding the existing airport.
So I think, and the average cost of a domestic airline ticket is 6,000. So I don't think so people that will spend 10% of their annual income in. Instead, it could have been established in a higher GDP per capita state like Andhra Pradesh.
Think on this way. Like if airport is going to get realistic value in that particular locality, population crowd also will get increased. If the population crowd is going to get increased, meaning more and more more and more manufacturing plants and IT buildings will also get set up. So there is a possibility that because of this small initiative, that Bihar could become the next tech chain also. And the final thing which I want to tell in this investment sector is, investment sector is what the PM Research Fellowship around is being planned to get released for the technological research purposes in IITs and IICs. So which is a really good initiative. And exports, it doesn't have much. The first thing is making the exports completely the name Bharat Trade. Let's see how it is going to get unfolded in the. What is your take?
It could be good if aim of digitalization, instead of making like how does we look in our Aadhaar. If it doesn't look, if the website doesn't work like that, if it's actually good digitalization, then
the next thing, which is the final thing for export, increasing the FPI limit from 74% on a condition if the company is going to invest their entire premium in India.
Next sector, which is India's nuclear energy. When I actually read this, I was quite shocked to see that India is actually getting into nuclear energy, which is actually. So let's see what they have in nuclear for it. What this budget has for India. What this budget has for nuclear energy. Basically, the government is aimed at creating 100 gigawatt of nuclear energy by 2047, which aligns with the vision of Viksit Bharat. And they are also going to spend 20,000 crores of fund in research and development of SMRs, which is like, simply to put in simple words, SMRs is just the smaller version of the nuclear reactors. And also they are very focused in making at least 5 SMRs which will be operational by 2033. 5 SMRs which are indigenously developed. So it's actually a good move by the Indian government.
China
that they're focusing on
was having one of the poorest GDP in the entire world, a decade of two. Do you agree?
What do you think?
In the year 2023, China produced 50 gigawatts of nuclear, and India is planning to produce 100 gigawatts of nuclear energy by 2047 only. By that time, the capacity of exponentially higher with respect to India. What do you think on this? Is it a good way to quantify the amount of nuclear energy which we are going to generate, or is it low?
Yeah, with China, because China is, and also the political conditions in China gives the power for the democratic country. Not all decisions can be taken by a single person in the authority. It's a kind of division of power, so that no one is responsible. You can't question such things.
A country which is having a democratic nature will be having a much lower. Let's move on to the next topic.
The next topic that we are going to focus on is fiscal deficit. I think so. Somebody could not. I think so. It's a new word for you guys. Fiscal deficit is nothing but just a new word to tell that how much we are spending and how much we are earning. So in the year 24-25, the total tax income that Indian citizens gave for Indian government is 25.57 lakh crores, and the government received 5.9 lakh crores of other incomes, but it spent 47.16 lakh crores. So for the difference of income and spending, they took a debt of 15.6 lakh 9 crores. So fiscal deficit is just a representation of total debt as a percentage of GDP. So we actually took 4.8% of our GDP as debt in the year 24-25. And for the let's now see the expectations for 25-26 year. The expected tax income for 25-26, the expected tax income for 25-26 year is 28.37 lakh crores, which is actually higher than last year. And other income sources, we get 6.59 lakh crores of other income, but we are going to spend 50.6. The trend of lowering physical
Now
deficit.
we are coming to the most spicy part, taxes. We start with indirect tax. And case of first thing is in the textile industry, like Indian government is planning to increase the BCD rate. BCD basically means not a BCD na full form warrant mein. Basically BCD means basic custom duties, like paying tax on the amount of value which is getting imported into the country. For example, if the value of a product is 100 rupees and if the BCD rate is going to be 10%, the amount at which the product will be sold in India is 110, because 10 will go to the government as BCD. In that case, the textile imports, the BCD rate is for the increase in BFT to 10% on IFPD. IFPD basically means interactive flat panel display, like how you used to have the digital smart boards in your school. That is called as an interactive flat panel display. And since the import duty on the import tax on that particular thing is going to get increased, the domestic production for those IFPD and apart from that, the startup incorporation period has been extended up to 5 years, which is quite beneficial. This is a thing which everyone has to take a note of, because a lot of senior and very senior citizens in our country are having their account debt, and what Indian government has told us, people who are having their account on NSS, they don't get the interest no longer. The government won't be paying their interest on their account.
Yeah, a
Who are
lot of
having
taxes has been
their account in
reduced
NSS
to
scheme.
support Make in India schemes and to support the residents of Indian. The first and the most important thing I think is that there is no more import duty on 36 cats and drugs, and 6 more drugs has been added to the concessional 5% duty, which means like previously there could be a higher BCD and now it has been reduced to 5%. It's actually a great move because India is becoming the cancer hub of the world. And next important thing is critical minerals. Actually, they have reduced the critical minerals. The government has reduced the taxes on few minerals which are not locally available, so that the manufacturers can import them and produce goods over here in India. And the most important three minerals I think are cobalt, lead, and zinc, because these are heavily used in battery manufacturing. And next important thing is for textile industry workers, for textile industry manufacturers, 2 more looms has been added in zero custom duty. So now any people interested in textile manufacturing can actually get those 2 looms imported without any custom duty. And next thing is the government is cutting cost on mobile parts. Custom duty. The government has planned to cut custom duties on components which are used to make various electronic parts, like components like camera modules, USB cables, fingerprint sensors, TV panel parts has been reduced from 2.5 to 0%. It's actually a great move for electronics manufacturers. And next important thing is it's not actually a decrement; it's a decrement to make taxation simple. In telecom industry, basic custom duty on carrier graded Ethernet switches has been reduced from 20 to 10%, matching the non-carrier grade switches. And next important, I think it's an important move made by the Indian government to boost the production of EV and mobile batteries. They have actually reduced the custom duty on 35 capital goods for EV batteries and 28 capital goods for mobile batteries, which will actually help the local manufacturers of EV batteries and mobile batteries. And next important, this was actually like the greatest thing I read in this union budget is about this thing, space sector. The government is actually interested in promotion of space sector in private.
It was a
So
lot
they
of
have
numbers.
reduced the custom duty
Tax
on
system in India is
ground
so
installation,
difficult for people
satellite
to
spares,
understand,
and
so that
non-vehicle
most
components
of them
to
won't.
zero.
We just
And
need
the
to wait and
last,
see. Direct income
but
tax
not the
for
least, is the
non-salaried
marine industry.
individuals, it's
To
up to
support
12
the,
lakhs,
as
but
you
for
told,
salaried
marine industry is one
individuals,
of the
it's up
biggest
to
industry
12.75
in
lakhs.
India. So to support that, they have actually reduced the custom duty on frozen fish paste is cut from 30% to 5%, which is a great decrease, and on fish hydrolysate used in fish and shrimp feed from 15 to 5. What do you think, Karthikeyan? A lot of taxes has been reduced.